State governors are asking Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke and Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson to provide more liquidity in the U.S. auto market, and they say it needs to happen now. The governors say the financial well-being of other major industries and millions of American citizens are at risk because of Detroit's problems. Is it really? Let's ask our Fox Biz All-Stars, Jonathan Hoenig, Howard Rosencrantz, Mark Tatge, and we got Tracy Burns. Jonathan, what do you think of that? Now, the auto companies.
Yeah, Neil, I mean, well, this bailout business, Neil, is getting offensive. I mean, every industry now is looking for a handout, and the only requirement to actually getting one is being a failure. You know, if you're a failure, if you're a deadbeat homeowner, if you're a failing automaker, you get a handout that's financed, of course, by the taxpayers. I mean, these automakers already got $25 billion in low-interest loans like 4 weeks ago, and now we're once again bailing out the mistakes of bad CEOs for the benefit of unions and private equity. I think it's disgraceful.
Mark, what do you think of that?
Well, I think, you know, once you start bailing out, you can't pick who you're going to bail out and who you're not going to bail out. So what are we going to do? Have a class war here where we bail out rich people, hedge funds, Wall Street people that are Jonathan's friends, but we don't bail out the middle class, the auto workers, and a big portion of our economy, which is, at least where I'm sitting right here, within 300 miles of here, there's probably about a dozen auto plants, and a lot of those are going to shut down.
Well, Mark, I was against the bailout for the banks and the institutions precisely because of this slippery slope you alluded to, but you're saying it justifies giving money to everybody if you're giving money to some?
I'm not saying to everybody, but I think it creates a big problem. I mean, we've already opened the gates here. So where do you stop? Okay. I mean, are you just going to say the automakers should just all file for bankruptcy because that's what they're going to do?
Well, if they can't cut it, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Nobody bailed out the tech industry when that bubble burst. Nobody bailed out those companies. You know what? The industry is changing. No one wants to drive the big clunky cars that the American companies make. So they need to change and get with the program and make something that people are going to buy, and they're not. And you know what? That's unfortunate, but it's too bad. No one bailed out Silicon Valley. There was tons of people out of jobs back then.
You know, Tracy,
here's the difference. In theory, and let's not debate whether or not we should or shouldn't bail out respective industries. I mean, if we could say that the $700 billion, where is it going? If we say that, okay, somebody should be bailed out, the $700 billion, in theory, is going to make the banking system survive, and we're presumably picking the best of the best, and we're blessing them. We're going to say, okay, and we're going to close down the bad guys or make them merge. You know what? The auto industry is done. They are finished. It's very sad. It's a horrible thing. We're talking about a crazy number of jobs, but this $25 billion is, or whatever the new number is.
Well, here's where what troubles me more about the numbers, and I talked to one of the governors involved here, Jonathan Hoenig, and he was telling me we think it's been that $700 billion package, just like John McCain thought $300 billion in mortgage relief was in this $700 billion package, just like someone else thought bailing out credit card holders was in this $700 billion package. Tracy and I believe that today's lunch was in that $700 billion package, and we're applying the $82.46 right now. My point is, it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Right, and all of a sudden, Neil, that $700 billion is gone. And, well, Mark, just let me go 1 second. Let's just take a look at that first bailout. Remember AIG with the $85 billion? Just today, they came back for another $20 billion. So absolutely, it's $25 billion here, it's $25 billion there. Pretty soon, that $700 billion is gone.
All right, what do you make of that, Mark?
The thing is I don't defend the automakers. Look, I know that they have made crappy products. I know there's a problem with the way that with their market.
But what the heck? We'll still bail you out.
There's a lot of jobs out there.
Well, I know.
There's a lot of jobs
I don't
out
take it out on the people.
Are you just going to say have those go away?
Well, just like Tracy mentioned with Silicon Valley, that's what happens in a capitalist society. You don't make products people like. That's what happens.
The theory was in writing the $700 billion check, again, justified or not, that the government was going to get it back. If we give the $700 billion to the auto companies, there is no shot we get it back.
But that's a bad example, because when we loaned Chrysler money, we got it back with interest. We shouldn't be bailing out these banks.
Maybe they had a shot then. This time they don't. They're done.
All right, well, the spigot is open, guys.
What are we doing recapitalizing the banks?
Well, I don't know what you asked there, but it seems profound. When we come back, we're going to talk about the markets. They close up again. So Jonathan Hoenig, though, is saying, don't hold your breath. This is not a trend.